Try it again. One second.
Mhm.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing?
No, I cannot.
1 second. There we go. Should be
There we go.
seeing it now.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So you have a choice. I can read it to you, read the answers to you, or you can just read it on your own. And then usually picks an answer from the last time I've helped somebody out with this. It usually chooses an answer, which one's the best answer.
Okay, so you just want me to try to solve it and then give
Yes.
an answer? Okay. Let's see. Mm, I would guess it's x to the 30th, like D.
Let's see if that's right. No, that's wrong because you don't multiply them together, you add them.
Add them. Okay.
So here's what happens. Yeah, see. So here's the deal. The correct answer is C. Recall that multiplication of terms sharing the same base can be simplified by adding exponents. Most people would do that because if it's x over 30, everybody's going to multiply it because it's exponent. But it's actually not multiplied, it's added together. If there's two x's, it's usually 2x, but usually it just depends on the values and how they're all together, multiplication, division, adding, and subtracting. So if the rule is forgotten, you can quickly derive it by considering the same case as 2 to the first power and 2 times the second power, which can be rewritten 2 times 2 times 2, which means that's 1, 2, and there's two twos right there. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 to the third power. Expression of this case can be simplified as this. X, see, it's basically telling you this and this. Those are the same thing when they're writing it out. Two different x's, x6 plus x5 equals x5 plus 6. So that's how you do that. You don't
Okay.
ever, you don't ever multiply them.
Okay.
Okay, now let's get to the next one. Now that think of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Do you know what that means?
Parentheses. Right, right. Please
Yep.
excuse. Right. It's just like like you go by that.
Please stands for parentheses. At E stands for exponents. Multiplication. D for division. Subtraction. And A for addition.
Hmm. 3D.
Okay. So I'm just confirming this. You said D3, right?
Yes, correct.
Very good.
Yes.
Most people actually get these wrong because they get the wrong order of operations. I can tell you from my standpoint, when I was like in seventh and eighth grade, the teacher was Mr. Hunter. Very confusing teacher. Just write it up on the board, and then yeah, it's a mess. But you did a
Yeah.
good job. So this tells me you have very good organizational skills, and you're quick at getting the answers correctly. So that's good news. So you're one,
Okay.
yeah. So I just like to go through it to make sure you understand it and you're not just guessing. So the
Yeah.
correct answer is D, beginning by the distribution of three, which means 3 times x plus 1. So it would be 3x plus 3, and then equals 5x, and then there's a positive and a negative. So you know what that is. More positive, it's a negative. More of a negative than it's a negative.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you then here they go down the steps and break down the steps right there. Okay. There's 3, and add both sides. It shows it right there. Subtracting this, the drawing equation there. Boom, got the answer correct. So you got 1 out of 2.
Okay. Times 1. Yeah, I gotta answer this. Not in any of these.
Okay, so just take your best guess. So hint, hint. A equals 1. So you just fill it in with 1 wherever A is. And
mhm.
then B equals 2. It doesn't sound, I'm making it sound like it's easier than what it sounds. But it's basically you're filling in all the information, but what do you do with it?
I did that. I did 3 times 1 and then 3 times 2. And then I got those
So,
numbers.
okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's work on this together. About that. So 3 times 1 is what?
3,
Okay, and then 3 times 2 is
6.
what? 6. So we know the first side is 6. The tricky part is this one right here, where you have the third power. So B obviously equals something to the third power, right? So
Correct.
B equals 2. Remember what we saw in the last couple problems ago?
Yeah.
Where it said 2 times 1 is it? Well, this is almost the same thing. So what you're doing is you're taking 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is what?
4,
4 times 2,
8.
8 times 2.
So then you just take basically 2 to the fourth instead of the third.
Yes, and then add them together.
Okay.
And you should have it. Yeah. This is why I encourage everybody. It might sound like these are real basic numbers, but some of them can fool you off and throw you off for the biggest terms. So if you have to take 5 to 10 minutes a problem, no issues. Just do what you got to do. But once you do see them the first time around, they're easy the second time around.
So, A.
Okay, let's try this together. So we got 3 times 1, which is 3. Then we go
Yes.
3 times 2, which is 6. So
6.
6 plus 16. Let me make sure I'm even doing it right. Backtrack here. So we got 6 on one side. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 6 equals, I get 22, which is D.
So when it's like 3AB, I did like 3 times 1 and then 3 times 2, and then I added those two things together.
Yes.
9. Okay, so oh, okay, I see what I did wrong.
So let's wait
Yeah.
now. Let's just try this for the fun of it. Then. There's a chance I could be wrong. Just because I'm the tutor does not mean there's sometimes where the client sometimes correct. So what did you pick?
I picked A.
Okay, so let's try it. See if you're right. It's 22.
Okay.
It'll show you the breakdown here. Now, I might explain it a little bit differently because of how it is, but how I explain it is way easier than sometimes how they do it.
Okay.
You'll get the links that we go over today and also the video. So you can go through everything yourself, the whole full hour. So you got this right here. This kind of threw you off. One stands for times, two stands for times, two is on the outside. So basically, it's not two. It could be two to the. You could do that, but you always want to go with inside the parentheses first. So you would do 2 times 2, which is 8, and then 8 times 2 is 16, and then 3 times 1, 3, and then 3 times 2, and then 6 plus 16 equals 22. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I was like doing like distributing, like I was doing like 3 times 1 and then 3 times 2, and I was adding those two together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to count it as one number and not two separate numbers. No, no. Always
Okay.
do a single type. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's try this. So this one, I'm going to give you a hint. Parameters uses length times width times height. It does not give you this one. Some of these test questions are not going to give you the very specific answers. So it says a rectangle. So you know what a rectangle is. It's
Yeah.
a square,
Hmm.
basically. But it's longer. So you're trying to cut it into two smaller squares of each an area of 25. What is the parameter of the original rectangle? So this might, the best thing I can tell you is just do the best that you can with this one because it's not a very big number. There's one answer that comes to mind to me, but I don't want to take it. This is one of those answers where it could be any one of them because it's not showing all the information. Now, it does say two squares and that each of them is 25. So is it doing it a real simplicity of it, of just adding the two sides together? Or is there just another way here what we're doing? Obviously, if it was 25 to the second power, it would be a way bigger number than all four of these. So you have to figure, is it division? Is it multiplication? Is it addition? Or is it subtraction? There's actually two answers for this one if my answer is actually correct.
Okay, and you said perimeter is length times width times height.
Usually, yes. But in
Okay.
this case, it's divided into two squares. So there's one answer there that definitely fits out. So you would either get a multiplication or you could divide the one number you're trying to get into the answer to that.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's not multiplication because those numbers are too small for that. I don't think it's subtraction. I would say 30. See?
30, here's my guess. It's not always straightforward. You could do 25 times 2, which is 50, or 25 plus 25, which is 50. That would be
Mm,
my answer because there's nothing else showing me there that there's anything. You have a square that's four different angles, north, west, east, south, north. So this one right here has a longer one, so it's trying to divide it into two. So if it's 25 in each area, it should be 50. However, they're not showing all the information too. Some
okay.
with parameter, usually if you look up parameter, it will show you that they usually use length, L, W, width, and H for height, or something
Okay.
like this. So let's do, you said 30, right?
Yeah.
You got it. Hey, there you go. You got it.
Wait, so how did we know it was
Yeah.
addition and not multiplication?
So here's the deal. In some cases, no, it's not. But when you're adding up, let's just explain. Okay. The correct answer is C. The formula to find the area of the square is side to side. So there's another one of adding up all the sides. So there's 5, 5, 5, 5. Well, then there's going to be 5, 5 on the other side too. There's 10 on each side. So that's why that came up to be as it is. Instead of it being multiplication, it came up to addition. The parameter is the sum of all sides. So that's 25 right there and 25 right there. But then sum of all the sides, therefore, there's 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10 equals 30. So there's 2 5s here and 2 5s here, and a 10 here and a 10 here. That's why.
Okay.
So the sides are smaller than the bottom parts, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes a little bit of sense.
So right there, see, that's another thing um, that I forgot to tell you. There can be side to side times as two. They don't use that often now with these type of tests. They usually use length times width times height.
Okay.
These five type of problems don't usually come up on that test as often. But now that I've just seen this and then seen that, that's what I'm saying. Because it could be one way or the other, how they distribute it. You see what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I like for somebody to disagree with me to see, oh, well, okay, he got it, but does she understand it?
Okay.
So, all right, let's see. Oh, this is a fun one. Okay. So
Mm,
let's just say I'm standing over here and let's see if you know how to do this.
okay.
This, I'll give you a hint. This is almost like grading it from a 100% point scale. Let's say you had a test that's worth 44 points and you want to get a 90. How would you figure that out? If you want an 80, how do you figure that out?
Okay.
So this one is actually more than 44 because of the number. So it's out of a certain number, not out of 44. That would be the total you would get for an 80%. So how do you do it? So for me, I would figure out each and every number that which one closely matches 44 on that test. So is it 57 that makes it 80%? Is it 55 that makes it 80%? Is it 53 or 51? Which one would be closer?
Uh, mm, I've been like practicing these questions. It's just there's two different ones that I get confused on. I know like when you're trying to find like what's 40% of something, you just take the decimal to a, I mean, take the percent to a decimal and times it by that, what
Yeah.
you're trying to find. But I know this is like, it's either, I know how to divide. I just don't know what side the percent is on the left or the
So
right.
here's you do. Here's how you do it. You take 51 times 80. Is that your 44? Is it 53 or is it 55 or 57?
So you just multiply 80 times
Yes.
the
Yes.
answers.
So here's the thing. It wouldn't make any sense for it to be 57 or 55. It has to be the least amount wrong because 80% is a good grade, right? It's good. It's accepted as a B grade for most schools. So that's what it would be. I would be totally shocked if it was C or D. So it's either A or B.
I would say B.
Hold on a second. I'm going to try something here.
Okay.
I'm just going to pull something up here on my phone and see if I can find what this is. Just 1 second.
Mhm.
I had a message come up. I had to take it.
You're fine.
I can install a calculator. I just need. There it is. Okay. So what did you? Which one did you say was 53?
Yes.
So right now that would be a 42 out of 53.
Okay, so 51 then.
So it would be 42.4. So let's try 51. No, it is not 51. In fact, that would be 41. So you try something. Holy Toledo. Okay. So here's the thing. We're assuming since it would be closer to the number, but it's not A or B.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, it's either C or D, but I want to see if we can pick the right answer.
Mm, 55.
Yes. There you go.
Cool.
So we figured it out. The correct answer is C. Translate the question into an equation. This you don't have to do. I would do it the other way around. I would multiply it times 80 to the each and every answer here and figure out which one is the closest to. Sometimes it's not going to be the exact answer. You could use this equation if you wanted to, but I would do it the opposite. I would do 55 times 0.8 and then 57 times 0.8. This is ridiculous right here. This is a waste of time. This is more confusing than ever.
Okay.
So my advice to you would be just to do it the multiplication.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Is it C?
See? Okay. Let's try it. No. So watch this. The correct answer is A. We can use, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is the biggest pain in the butt equation criteria, math history, and value expressions. Because people get it and confused all the time. Not saying you did, but that's the most common phenomenon. Is a technique for remembering the order of operations. It stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and addition and a subtraction. According to the rules, we must evaluate the expression in parentheses first. So look down here. Right here it says 3 plus 5. We have to multiply this first in the middle with how weird it sounds. And then go down here to the middle down here. It gives you 26 minus 56. Then you have 26 minus 14. So actually it does 56 divided by 4. That's 14. And then it goes down to the bottom down here. Finally, we perform an addition and subtraction from left to right. So you do 26 minus 14 plus 2. So 26 minus 14 is 12 plus 2 equals 14. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's relatively simple. So what exactly made you think it was 23? So I know.
So I just like distributed. So I did like -7 times 3, -7 times 5. So then I had like, I think it just was kind of messy the way I did it and I got it messed up. So I had like 26 minus -21
Okay,
minus
so when you take
-35.
this test, organization is going to be a very, very big thing. Use your time limit to every single case and clause that you can think of to get the correct answer. But do it as fast as you can in an organizational manner.
Okay.
And here you go. Which of the following numbers is the greatest? So we have fractions and decimals.
It's the greatest.
So what
2.
does 2 over 3 stand for as a percentage or a decimal? 13 over 22.
I don't think it would be D. I would guess 2 over 3.
That your final answer?
Yeah.
You got it.
Cool.
The correct answer is A, to determine which value is the greatest conversion to fractions to decimals and compare each value of the fraction. 2 over 3 is 2 divided by 3 or 0.06 fraction. 13 over 22, the value is 0.59. Guess what? Most people usually pick the 13 over 22. Oh, look at the bigger numbers. Look, it's
Yeah.
over 50%. That should be correct. And then they look at it and
Yeah.
say, oh, the darn number's not high. So, okay. Try this. Oh,
Oh Lord.
yeah, these are a pain too.
Oh, I
Slope
don't know
and
where to
angles.
start.
So think of it like this. What is a 90-degree angle?
Uh, what do you mean? Like,
Okay, a 90-degree angle, a right angle is a 90-degree angle. That's what I should have explained. A right angle is a 90-degree angle that the Earth is 360 degrees as a globe. So it's divided into 4 right angles, 90 degrees each. Half of that's 45. Each angle is half of 45. 45, then 22 and a half, and all this other stuff, breaking it down, kind of like this is right here, the different angles. So you're trying to figure out in the figure below, lines D and F are parallel and the angles measured is given. What is the value of X? So lines D and F, D and F. What's the value of X?
so that means D and F have both have the 120 angle.
Yes.
Mm, I'm just gonna guess and say B.
B?
Yeah.
Okay, see, since I see 120 and 35, I'm going to say 120 minus 35 and say 85, which is C. Okay, so you want B. But you're
Yeah.
just guessing. You don't have an explanation or anything for it, right?
Nope.
Okay, okay, that's fine. It's 85. Here's how it's 85. So let me break it down. The correct answer is C, vertical angle. So there's horizon and then there's vertical. Horizon is like where the sun sets at the horizon. Vertical is north and south.
Okay.
You understand that part?
Yeah.
Okay. Vertical angles are the angles opposite of each other and are created when two lines cross. So that's also that's where a parallel mark is. Like when two roads cross, they're called parallels.
Mm-hmm.
Vertical angles are always equal. So the angle vertical to 35 degrees also has a measure of 35 degrees. The supplement of 120-degree angle has a measurement of 60 degrees. All straight lines measure 180 degrees. So that means there's one line that goes up and down, north and south. There's one that goes west and east. That's what I was saying about a globe being 360. And there's
Yeah.
four 90-degree angles. And that 180 is two 90-degree, but it's differently said in this passage. So we then have triangles with angles measuring 35, 60, and x degrees. As shown in the figure provided, since the angles triangle add to 180, they don't always have to add to 180 unless they're talking about something like this with a bunch of different angles.
Mm-hmm.
35, which is one angle, 60, which is one angle plus x, what does it leave over? It leaves 85. Or here's a shortcut. You take 120 and minus that. If it says this, you subtract them all the time.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, does this make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, I know you said like there's a question on the test that's like that, like similar to that I just subtract. But I get that you're
Yeah,
saying that like a whole angle is 180. So then I'm kind of getting that like you would split that. So I kind of get
right,
that.
right, exactly. That's what, yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay, let's try another one. So notice something here. There's also some trickery in here too. So make sure you're doing, it's basically simplifying and matching what the variables are about. So look at that as well.
Okay. Um,
So depending on which direction you're going for, it could either be one of the two answers for one or one of the two answers for, you can see that there's two different answers for like they match up, A and C, and then B and D. It all depends on how you're going to do it. And please don't miss the symbol in the middle, which is the subtraction sign right there. You're trying to combine it into one variable thought.
hmm. I would say A.
Okay? Okay. I just like to do this. This is your final answer.
Uh, no, I'm gonna say C.
Is C your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check and see if this is right. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
You had it right and then you switched it. That's why I do that. It either help you or trick you to fool you. Just to see, make you think, do you see what I'm going at?
Yeah.
It's like who wants to be a millionaire? Is this the right answer or not? No. All right. So let's go to the bottom here. You had the right answer. So you know what
Mhm.
you did wrong, obviously. When subtracting upon over, the first step is to distribute the negative sign through the parentheses. This changes the sign on each term of the sign. That's a big thing right there. Very, very big. I'll never forget how many times I got that wrong. And I wanted to slam my pencil down on the desk and say, man, I just want to give up.
Yeah.
But anyways, arrange like terms next to each other option. So basically what it's doing is taking the sevens, combining it all into one. And then you put it all into this. And then the biggest trick part here is the 3xy minus 3xy. Those two cancel out. Anytime you see the same numbers like that, and you did that, that's a good job.
Mhm.
You did what you needed to do. So you're one step ahead there. But what I did was I tricked you into getting that other answer. That's what I mean. It'll either help you or not help. Because the thing is, it's on you. You know what the answer should be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Oh, yay. Here we go.
Lord.
So remember, which direction is it? If it's positive, does it go to the right? If it's negative, does it go to the left? Think of the power symbol sign. I'm going to try to help you out as much with this one because there's a lot of people. Not saying you would it happen to you, but there are people that it get fooled by.
B.
I'm not even going to say final answer this time. I'm just going to let you keep the answer so you don't get thrown. Okay. Let me check it for myself. That looks correct to me. That
Yeah, I
looks
think it's
correct.
left. Yeah.
It is to the left. You are
Okay.
right on that.
Okay.
See, it shows all the way to the
Oh,
left. I didn't even look at I just wanted to tell you to make sure that when you know it's positive, go to the right and left because I'm not sure how much you know about this. So I just make sure you're covered. So you did say B, right?
yes.
Okay. You got it. Very
Yes.
simple. See, I mean, that's why you hired to check everything what you need to do. I can see that you're way faster in learning this stuff than most people are. Some people really struggle with even these parts. So this is
Mhm.
plenty of experience with taking the test myself 3 different times and seeing how it changed over those times as well, and getting updated material every single year and then this. So you obviously, I don't need to explain this to you, right?
No. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Now this one actually isn't too hard.
Okay.
Look at the power set when you talk. And then what is this called? What is this called right here?
Squared root.
Very good. Okay. Then you shouldn't have a problem with this at all. You shouldn't.
Ten. C.
There you go. So basically, you did 6 times 6, 36. 8 times 8, 64. It's 100. Square root of that is 10.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously got that right. There you go. And there you see it right there. You know what that is. You're going to get the
Yes.
next. Okay. Ooh, here we go. Now you need to know what a median, a mode, and mean mode and median, what they are.
The two lists are combined. What does it mean? Combined as in like I add them together or what?
No, not add them. Put them all in orderly fashion and figure out what the median is. So here's what I'm going to do. I would put it up on my computer, but I don't want to ruin the screen share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read the definition to you. Median definition.
So would I just rearrange these two things to one big list basically? Or would I keep the
Yes.
numbers in
So here's the deal. You would list them 2, 4, 7, no, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Oh, there's a bit. You would list them all in alphabetical order.
so 1, 2.
4, 5, 7,
Okay.
9. And let me just get something up here. So I don't like this definition at all. This totally stinks. Oh, okay. So here's what I'm going to clear cut definitions. The median is the middle number, but it could be one, it could be two, could be three numbers. There's usually one. If it's a single number in the middle, it's usually single unless there is an average that it adds up to the bigger number.
So it's the middle number you're saying?
Yes.
So
So you would
9?
just put 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, let's see, 12, 13, 15, and 18. And then figure out what is the middle number.
9.
Is it 9? Is that the answer that you want?
Yes.
Okay. No.
Oh.
So here's what happens. This is why you need to slow down a little bit. You did that too fast. The answer is C. Recall the median is a set of data. It's how you located a median is a set of data in case of contains of even numbers. The median is an average of two middle numbers. So the two middle numbers are 7 and 9. So it's
Mhm.
one number, but you have to add the two middle numbers and then divide it by 2. Combine the two sets, provide organize them in ascending order. So 7 and 9 are the two middle numbers because there's so you go with the fifth and sixth number that are in the middle. Since there are even number items in the resulting list, median lists the average of two middle numbers. So median is 7 plus 9 divided by 2. 7 plus 9, 16 divided by 2 equals 8.
So the median is always the sum of the two middle numbers divided by 2.
Yes.
Okay. I remember that.
And probably what, you know what? I'm going to take a little responsibility on this, not explaining it perfectly correctly. The reason why sometimes there's always like two numbers or three numbers because it depends on the pack of numbers that you have. If you have three sets of numbers, the same thing, then you're going to average them all out. And then number two, I should have said there's always two numbers, unless it's different. There's one number just sitting there right in the middle that's alone, and that's usually what it is. But most of the time, it's usually two numbers, and then you divide them by 2, and then you get the average.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Here. Oh, here we go. Expression time.
Isn't this just 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1?
It
Or
could
you're
be.
not gonna tell me?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you finish.
720 B.
Very good. Most students don't get that either. Okay, so I always try to keep my recordings down below an hour. So just let me unrecord for a second,
Okay.
stop it for a minute, and then we'll get back. Get these other problems in. Why is it not letting me do? Okay. Is it letting me? Are you still there? Yeah, hold it. This computer is acting crazy. 1 second.